working as a cowboy. I was milking cows. Yes. I was working as a cow milker. Milking kids.
Milking cows.
And then this cow, he ran so fast. He needed mowed me down. And I don't know.
Physically an Eurasian, mentally a British, spiritually an American. The Southern American. Cowboys are Western, Southwest.
Yeah. Now you gotta say, I was fixing milk to see a cow. He ran so fast, he moved down the street. Back home, Texas, our working in his farm, and they had off this thorn patch. And if you get caught in the storm, you'll be sorry. And why not go and cactus patch?
It's already rolling.
Yeah, rolling.
No, yeah, it's rolling. You can start anytime you want.
But when I was speaking Texas accent,
it's all inside. It's all inside. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. I got quite a few songs on this.
I'm seriously not used to this, because usually you kind of speak like subtly, like a little bit of British accent. But seriously not used to it. And you speak like you've been speaking the cowboy accent since you were born. You sound like you've been speaking like that.
No, I used to do
stand-up comedy.
Stop using politics now.
Yeah.
So we had to play the role of this Texas. I was a judge in a court. And here this guy's under
the what?
This guy is is being interrogated by the
interrogator.
Judge was saying, so do you know this guy called Rowdy? Rowdy, he's a real big one. I know him since I was knee-high. He'd make Will Bond and mighty fine, brother.
Sounds like the African cowboy.
African is why they have the same accents that they have the Southerners. They were the ones who had all these cotton fields. Cotton fields back home. So they were the ones who really employed the
slaves.
The slaves. So kind of the niggas. So
I can put the niggers on.
Okay, Negroes.
No, you can say niggers, but I'll censor it out.
Okay, so they were working for this their bosses who were actually Texans.
Yeah.
So they kind of pick up the Texas accent, but they kind of like modified it into yo, like Texas yo. They got this yo, bro. What happened, bro? What happened?
Yeah. So the ghetto accent is from the cowboys,
Cowboys, because the slave masters were all Texans, were all Southerners. Southerners basically.
So sound like that.
Southerners, Texas. So the country and western songs actually I would say songs.
Songs.
The country music songs are all derived from basically from the cowboys west. So this Achy Breaky Heart. I hadn't followed Billy Ray Cyrus, but I think I can put on an American or Southern accent. So I just try and see whatever I can do.
I'll make this like a part of a documentary series. The
song's not starting. Oh.
Put it all the way to
the right.
To the left.
Oh, put it all the way to the right. Achy Breaky Heart. It reminds me of my time when I was in Texas working as a cow milker.
Okay, I was cow milker.
Hey, actually the song.
That wasn't a full song, but it was really good. Like you know, just now my jaw was dropping the whole time. I'm like, this man right here, he's been speaking, you know, in the British accent throughout his whole life, and this.
You mean it's still live?
Yeah, no, it's not live. It's a video.
Okay, I mean it's a video. Right?
He's been speaking British for his entire life. He has a subtle British accent, but here he is singing for the first time. Basically,
this is my story. My father is of British ancestry, and apparently his great grandfather came on the same ship as Sir Francis Light, the founder of Penang. My mom, of course, was a Portuguese. Actually, she's more of a Portugoose because singular is goose.
Portuguese.
Plural is geese. So my mom is a Portugoose, and And her history goes back to 1511 when this Alfonso de Albuquerque, it's Albuquerque, sorry, Kaki. I used to say, you know what? Actually, the pronunciation here would be Albuquerque, but if you look at the real pronunciation, some songs go, by the time I get to Albuquerque, I'll be rising, some song I heard. So I realized that the real name of Alfonso de Albuquerque is correct, not Kaki or whatever. Anyway, that's a different story. Now, my dad, I grew up in Penang. Okay, and I was born before independence, so we were in the center, and my back neighbor, front neighbor, and the side neighbor, and front neighbor were all British. They call themselves British. British is when you don't pronounce
The T.
the T. That's Cockney. It's Cockney, Hollywood Cockney. Yeah. So if you speak Cockney, you don't pronounce the T. So my neighbors were all speaking Cockney.
Like the Jason Statham.
So they would have the girls, small girls would throw the ball over and say, Frank, can you please pass the ball? And I would say, you go take yourself up, because I was learning the local accent from
At the la, everything.
you go take yourself up, I don't know God primer. And then my mom would scold me and say, you speak British accent and you don't use the local accent. Anyway, would you like to come in for a cup of tea? So I said,
Cup of tea.
Mom said, would you like a cup of tea? So I said, I found that the British accent was very lot of inflections. It's like singing.
Yeah.
So hence the Cockney, not Cockney, the country westerns also had this inflections on their songs, all double inflections. So I was looking at the word, tell you, dog walk, dog walk to buy my leg.
I think we can even show them.
Oh, there's a hole in it.
Oh, yeah. Explain.
Somebody wrote it wrongly and said
It was you can tell my feet to hit the floor fingertips. we moved it to
it didn't make sense, so I thought
hit the floor fingertips. Here. And then can they see this? It's out of focus. I fixed the focus on in the future, this is going to be part of a documentary. So, like, should I call you? What should I call you?
Me?
Yeah, I call you Jalleh, but what should like the audience remember you as? Franca. Okay, so me and Frank, we came up with this. We came up with some words to, try to pronounce this.
To try to imitate the country and western accent. So we changed a lot of words. What was the word we changed?
Can to Kayon.
You
tail.
World.
Yeah, then
world is like added some. You can tell. Or what do we do the song again?
Sure.
The song again. Where did you find it?
Encore.
No, where did you find it? Where's the backing track?
Backing track.
It was backing track for something, I think. Whatever.
I think one of the choruses is
I think we slipped up just now because
the chorus. There's one part the backing track goes silent.
You can. There's one part that goes silent. Okay, let's see now. What's the name of the song? What's the name of the song, by the way?
Achy Breaky Heart.
Okay.
So you remember that you remember that after the last chorus, there's 2 more choruses.
Yeah. I think I forgot.
Forgot.
It's local, the one.
Forgot.
She said, hello, I forgot. So, I think it was kind of Malay, English. I can't study. How can we study? I think it's a Pulia. You can tell the world never was my rule. You can tell them when I'm gone. You can tell your friends what a fool I'll be, and laughing just about me on the phone. You can tell my arm back to the phone. You can tell my feet to hit the floor. You can tell my lips, tell my fingertips, they won't be reaching out for you no more. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. That's a bishop now. Tell your mom I'm moved to Arkansas. You can tell your dog to buy my leg. Tell your brother Cliff was fast and tell my live. You never really liked me anyway. Tell your other each land, sing your please. My samurai knows I'm not a cake. And you can tell my eyes to watch it for mine. It might be walking out on me today. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it understand. Hey, you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, he might grow up and kill this man. Basically.
I don't know. I've only heard this song a few times. The first time I heard it.
Don't tell my silent one. Achy breaky heart, I just don't think he'll understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this man. That bishop.
Oh, okay. Good. Continue.
So that's the Achy Breaky Heart. We're going to download this song right down in the YouTube. You know, Facebook. We're going to download the song down to Facebook, and hopefully you'll enjoy the song. And it's time. I think it's time that we mosey along. Mosey along. That's what he used. Mosey along.
Mosey. What's mosey?
Mosey is like Moses, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go home. So see you folks. I'm gonna bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
See y'all.
I think this is going on YouTube because everything is like this, like
Impromptu.
Impromptu, but the production value is very high.
Is it?
Yeah, and the way you spoke to the camera, it's like, oh.
Oh yeah.
And I even closed the doors to. At first, the doors were open, but I closed it to improve the
acoustics.
Yeah, improve the acoustics.
Acoustics. Actually, I was stand up, and I used to do news reading on radio. I never did on TV because in radio, those days you can do news every half an hour, and you get paid 80 ringgit for every half an hour, so you can get about 300-400 a night. A day.
Oh.
Whereas TV, I went to TV and I asked them, it is 80 ringgit per day. Per TV, and they only had one news, like one English, one Bahasa Malaysia news on one Bahasa Malaysia news. And I remember Robert Lam was doing this, a very close friend of mine. He died sadly. He was working. We were partners in many businesses, but he was doing the news on TV Malaysia, and I was doing the news on Radio Malaysia. So I stuck on the radio because we don't have to spend like 1 hour makeup, go too much. And then at the end of the day, you get paid like 80 ringgit, and I don't have to dress up. I can cover my slippers and pajamas. Nobody can see me. Nobody only hear your voice. So you just do four or five takes. It's every half an hour. So you make a lot more money than
the TV news.
For the TV news. So Robert said to me, hey, yours is better because you get more money. I was in for the money, he was in for more of the glamour. So it's yeah, he get famous. Why not? But I guess at that time I needed money because I was kind of broke.
When was it? Like before the advertising?
70s.
Before the advertising? After the advertising? During the advertising?
During my time, stints in the advertising, well, yeah, why not? Yeah, I did it. I did spinning record. Stand up.
Spinning records is the electronic dance music. The label company.
No. Those days we spin those vinyl records. Vinyl, you just put it on the turntable and you put a needle on it, and then many times it's so scratchy that it would skip a groove. You know, the needle is running on the groove. So it skip a groove and it'll like
go to the next song.
No, go. You just repeat song. Repeat a certain verse like you can tell. So you quickly got to lift the needle up and press the cough button. When you cough, it will mute the speaker. So you have to press the cough button
and then move it,
and then try to get the music, the needle back on the track.
How do you know it's the right spot?
Most of the time it's the wrong spot. Sometimes you feel like taking the record and fling it out the window. So we do that, and sometimes they'll tell you to do the weather forecast. So how do you do the weather forecast? Because it's stuck with the meteorological, whatever you want to call meteorological station or whatever.
Meteorological
station.
Like how the clouds move, the sea waves.
But we don't have time, so we run out of the studio, look at the window, open. Oh, the weather's coming. The weather's fine. Cloudy here.
How do you know? What if like Puchong it's clear, but Subang it's raining?
After the end of the day, nobody cares what the weather was. It was rainy or sunny. But at that time, I think Patrick would go and say, well, it's bad, but in any case, here's wishing you blue skies and nice things. I think it was been some Key Watts Fantastic Facts and Fancies program those days. And he was quite famous then. How long are we going on with this recording?
I don't know. As long as you wish, because this isn't live. I can edit whichever part you want inside.
Oh. Well, it was a very interesting time back then. We used to do something called radio theater. That's where we got this. Somebody says, I want you to do a play based on American characters. So actually, at that time, me and Robert, I think we were learning something called phonetics. We were teaching something called phonetics. Now I can't because my pronunciation is bad because I suffered a stroke. You can see how my face is talking, but still, I still have some of the old skills back. It's only half the face, so I can talk half. With half my face, I can still sound better than a normal person. But whatever. We were supposed to do this show whereby it's based on American programmers. That's why I learned this. I was playing the role of a judge, and then they were like fighting this guy. He's supposed to be hung, and the theme song was "Hung Down Your Head, Tom." So they said that he was the way they said, he's a real mean guy. He's so. I think what is he'll make Bill Boney a mouth fun, brother. Bill Boney, by the way, is Billy the Kid. So
Billy the Kid.
So
no
he's
idea.
telling the judge, he's a real mean one. He'll make Bill Boney a mouth fun, brother. He's meaning that Bill Boney, Billy the Kid, was a bad guy, and he would make Bill Boney a mighty fine brother. And then he was trying to escape from Judge Ronnie. So fast, he nearly murdered this guy. And we had to speak this kind of accent throughout the whole play. And then at the end of the day, when they announced the names of the actors, and it was some Indian guy, I think it was Ali Tambi Braja and Frank Jalleh and Lim Beng Chun, Chinese, also very good voiceover. And there's another guy called, what's his name? Dennis Doss. I don't know whether they are alive. I know Lim Beng Chun is died, Robert Lam has died. Many of, I think 90% of them are dead dish, which is gone on the ground. And I don't know whether Dennis Doss was alive, but he called himself, he was a teacher in LaSalle, Brickfields. At that time, the headmaster was Dennis Armstrong, and this Dennis Doss will call himself Dennis Weak Legs. That's how I know him. But he's a very good actor. At that time, he had his program with Lim Beng Chun. It's called Bing and Bong. I think many people know. Lim Beng Chun was famous for his Hacks commercials. And
Candy. Black candy with red wrapping.
So he would do quite a number of commercials. I was in the advertising industry for the past 40 years, since 1970s, I think. And many of the older folk can relate to this, I know, but not you. You don't even know who the Shadows are. Cliff Richard and the Shadows, you don't even know. So the younger guys, like my sons, Dad, who are the Beatles? You don't know who the Beatles are? Oh my God! Then okay, I understand. Okay, I think I run out of things.
There's 29 minutes. Oh, exactly 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You can because this is like I'm making it like a podcast. The podcast is basically like usually there's one person on one side, one person on the other side. They are wearing headphones. 没有，就帮他录一个很像一个 documentary 啊。有人来的话，告诉我们。
But the speaker, can you hear my voice?
Yeah, you can.
It's so far away.
It will be very clear. 刚才他唱那种美国乡村音乐啊，几像哦。我都吓到有录到等下我发给你。过后他就开始就讲关于他的生活啦，就而且我那个角度抓得很美，所以我就想继续。Okay. A small interruption.
Oh, okay. Okay. Matter. You were speaking Mandarin, by the way, and we were arguing about the difference between Malaysian Mandarin and
Chinese
Mandarin. During lockdown, I learned Mandarin. I was telling him that there was more like I told him when we say it's R because it sounds more like an R sound, and Chinese Mandarin is more word here or and then here it's more like plain Mandarin and Hokkien and Cantonese would sound similar.
Dialects. Chinese dialects. Yeah.
But I could figure out the difference between Hokkien and Sa. Basically it's a difference in American and British. the difference in the style of talking. British would say the word is like talk. I'm good at talking. I'm good at speaking British. And Americans it's like talk. I'll talk. It's more like a drawl. And then I was telling him that the British, I was fixing to milk this here cow. Why fixing to milk this here? You listen to the American movies, John Wayne. Is it John Wayne?
No idea.
Wayne. They won't know. So
different generation.
So British would say, John Wayne? Yes. And then the Americans would say, do you know John Wayne? Yup.
Can you try doing some British and make it quite how do we put it? Make it very British and very cowboy, like impressions.
Actually, if you want to know the British accent, who would do a real British accent in Malaysia? Okay, Robert Lam was very British. He would read the news. Malaysians today celebrated Thai Pusang at the Batu Caves in Kuala Lumpur. So I said, Robert, do you have to pronounce all the Malaysian names in British? He says, yes, why not? We are speaking the Queen's English, so if you're talking about Batu Caves, why not? Kuala Lumpur. So the American style would be more like
Kuala Lumpur.
Kuala Lumpur. Listen to American style. You listen to President Trump or Bush. George Bush.
No idea.
No idea.
No idea how Bush's accent is like, but Trump's accent I'm quite familiar with.
But Trump, is he more Texas or is he more? I think he's not
He's like,
I think.
I stand with the American people.
Oh, yeah.
People. I don't know, because my voice is very different from President Trump's voice.
The latest video I saw, he was saying he actually had the COVID.
The Jesus came out.
COVID crisis, and he says, "I believe that God was the one healed me." And
God wanted me to have COVID or something. I think.
God actually, God gave me the COVID virus, and to prove that it could be cured with this medication. So it is, and I believe it was God's doing. And then at the background,
Jesus,
dressed as Jesus Christ comes over and sees Trump, and he says, "Oh my God!" and he puts his hand over his head. "Oh my God!" The guy is saying, "I didn't say that." That's my version now. But what I saw was a bit different. Jesus never spoke anything. He just shook his head and walked out in a huff. It's like people saying what he said.
And Jesus was like, "No, I didn't say that."
I didn't say that. It was funny.
White garment and then like a red color scarf. What's that called? A white color robe, is that garment? And then there's like a red color scarf.
No, that's what Jesus wore.
Middle Eastern scarf.
Middle Eastern.
Oh, what's that called?
That's why a lot of people they kind of when they look at this garment and they realize that basically it looks like what the our imams and our Muslim priests they would dress like Jesus, and our Mother Mary had the tudong on her head. So they never realized that actually it was the same from the same place.
Abrahamic religions.
They're from the Middle East. During the Iraq War, a couple of soldiers they were still fighting during Christmas Day, and then one soldier said to the other, "I really miss Christmas back home." And in the background there is this against this setting sun. There was camels, people in camels. It's shadow hues.
Wait, it was during the war.
During the war,
and
war.
There were people on camels.
On camels still walking around, walking on
the sun.
So Francis, hey, you want to know what Christmas is? Look over there.
Camels.
Yeah, camels and silhouettes of camels.
Silhouettes of camels.
What has that got to do with Christmas? Hello, have you seen
the three
cards?
kings? The three kings.
Have you seen Christmas cards? That's how it looks like. We used to have Christmas cards. We sent Christmas cards to each other.
We used to do that too.
The Christmas cards were the scenes were exactly what they saw against the background in Iraq. So, never realizing that that's where the Christian religion actually derived. Listen, I'm not running down any religion. Nothing to do. This has got nothing to do with religion. Who's right, who's wrong.
It's okay. This is how podcasts work. It's kind of like a conversation, come debate. But usually it's more of like a knowledge sharing, like sharing about your experience, things like that. Hey, actually, have you seen podcasts before? Like, listen to podcasts before?
I have. They come. Actually, we should do something like that.
Yeah, actually, this is sort of like a podcast.
But the podcast, the mics are very good.
right.
I think Tina wants to come back. So I think we better call it a day.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap.
Okay,
This
in
is Frank
10
Jalleh.
seconds. Okay.
Okay, this is Frank Jalleh, or rather Muhammad Jalleh. Well, I'm both. I'm basically a Muslim, and I'm not running down any other religion. No. Sorry. This is a podcast, and it's going to be transcending all races and religions and creeds and whatever you call it. Okay, so this is Frank Jalleh or Malaccan-Portugese signing off for today. We'll have more podcasts like this, and topics will just be random. Anything that we can think of, anything from top of our head, we just say, okay, without any fear or favor. We nothing to do with politics and all. It's just plain conversation. Okay? Bye.
Hola.